This city is officially a megalopolis, but it's still missing one thing: massively overbuilt infrastructure. But don't worry, I'm going to fix it in the most reasonable way possible. I'm going to start with the most obnoxious highway system I can build. And looking at this interchange, past Saloon has already given us a head start. But even this still isn't good enough. We can do way better. But first, let's take a quick look at what we already have. So the current connection comes from the outside map, and just ignore the rocks. I was supposed to fix this, but I never did. In total, we have 4 lanes. This transitions into the 4-lane bridge. This goes across the water, and then turns into a sunken highway. And I think the biggest problem with the sunken highway is that there isn't enough lanes. And just look at how much better the 3 lanes looks. Now we're taking significantly more space, and we don't have to merge for anyone. But even this still isn't good enough. That's because I want to add a retaining wall on both sides. And then I just want to lift this terrain up a little bit. And now that is getting much closer to being overbuilt. Of course though, we'd want the guardrail on both sides. And yeah, this is much better. Just ignore whatever that is down there. But of course, we can't just stop the 3 lanes there. We need to carry this all the way down. And do the exact same thing on this side as well. And I genuinely mean this. That looks so much better. One day I truly hope that... Wait, what is this? Game? I don't know what's happening right now. This is genuinely just kind of scary. Anyways, I was gonna say that I really do hope one day we get highways that can come with guardrails. Because right now I feel like that's severely lacking. Now I'm going to quickly go through and fix the retaining wall, because I don't want to see into the upside down. The big thing that I like about the retaining wall is that it allows me to fix this. There have been houses that look like they're about to fall off a cliff, and it's been bugging me for the longest time. There's a few minor imperfections, but I'm going to try to not let those drive me insane. Now right here, this transitions into 2 lanes. And 2 lanes is not good enough. So we're going to upgrade this to 3 lanes as well. And this is when things are going to get a little bit more crazy and also start to break. So we need to maintain our lane math. To do that, we have to upgrade this section to have 4 lanes. That way we have 3 lanes for moving forward, and an extra lane for branching off. And because things are looking super janky, these off-ramps need to be replaced. I would say kind of like that, but that's not very nice. And okay, now it's starting to look pretty decent. But the more I think about it, is 1 lane truly enough? And I'm just not convinced that it is. So once the merge off happens, I'm going to add a 2nd lane right here. And now that is an appropriate amount of lanes. And I really don't like this weird little curve, but the only way to fix it is to extend the 2nd lane. And if we're going to be doing that, we'd have to add a 5th lane here. This is just getting out of hand. I didn't realize how quickly this would get out of hand. And I don't want people dying to tree accidents. That right there is perfect. This has now been enhanced to its most optimal level. I will get rid of these crosswalks. Now let's connect this side in. And honestly, it's looking pretty good. Wait a minute, never mind. That looks awful. There we go. That is peak North American highway. And just look at how much room has been freed up. So now we can fill this with more development, but that will have to be another day because we've got more work to do. This isn't perfect yet. I'm going to take everything that I just did here and apply that all the way down to right about here, because then we have an important decision to make. And it's looking solid. And I also really like the big retaining walls, because that means we can come back and make them all nice and pretty. Because it wouldn't make sense if we overbuilt this highway just to have all this be ugly. No, we're going to come back later and make all of this beautiful. Either way, next up is this interchange. and it's pretty much solid. The only thing that I want to do here is extend the 5 lanes and then fix the broken lane math. We need 4 lanes here and 4 lanes there. And these connections are a bit tighter than I'd like them to be. And that looks much better. So I'm going to be happy with it. Now we're finally ready to move on to down here. And first things first, I'm just going to upgrade almost all of this to be a 3-lane. Just like that right there. Perfect. Now the reason why this transitions out of a sunken highway into a flatland highway down here is because as I got closer to the water, I started to have concerns over the real-life ramifications of this water flooding into the highway. And part of me wishes that I made it an elevated highway instead. But I've already committed to the sunken part here. And wow, just look at all the hearse icons. And all the not enough customer icons. It's kinda just driving me insane. I'm gonna get sidetracked for a second. So this crematorium has 46 out of 48 vehicles in use. So clearly we just need one more crematorium somewhere in this vicinity. And I'm gonna place that right here. And I'll make sure that it only operates in this district because this one just seems to be the worst. Now show me some vehicles going out. Show me that the problem will get solved. Oh, of course, you're not connected in. There, is that good enough for you? Can you please go deal with all of the dead bodies? I'm gonna hope and pray that that's enough, because I want to focus on the highway. I wish that I transitioned into an elevated highway sooner, because that would have made everything so much easier. Again, Past Loon is an idiot. I hate that guy. Once we get to this bridge, we are transitioning the rest of this to be elevated. Although that might cause a few issues with the interchange. So first, let's get this torn out, and then we'll worry about that once we get there. Of course, this has to be 3 lanes. Anything less would be unreasonable. There we go. And this is the part that I'm scared of. I really don't want to have to touch or remake this monstrosity. This took me like 2 hours. So I'm going to do the most reasonable thing that I can think of. I'm going to drop back down to ground level. And then once we get past all of this, we're going to chop this off. And wait a minute, I just had a brilliant idea. All we have to do is parallel these 2 roads. And then just make sure that this offset is 0, increase the height to 9, change the road to a 3-lane highway, and create parallel network. Oh my, it is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Let's do the same thing with this one. Okay, well maybe that's not perfect, but that's an easy enough fix. And there we go. Elevated highway has been achieved almost. But we just need to do something about this interchange here. And again, for convenience, I'm just going to drop back down. But this is only 2 lanes, and that is not good enough. Here in Providence Bay, we live by a minimum of 3 lanes. And now, it is finally time to chop this off, because we're going to parallel this entire road, up to right about here. And this time, I'm going to try an offset of -3. And yes, that is way, way, way better. Let's create the network, and delete this pathetic one underneath it. And there we go. I am starting to feel a little bit bad for the poor people who live here, who can no longer enter the city. So I'm going to delete this interchange, but I want to do that so I can get the city moving again. Oh my gosh, what is happening here? I don't even know what to say. All I know how to do is ignore. Now we're going to make the exact same movement, but this time with our fancy elevated highway. Where is the route? Try like this, does that work? Wait, where are you going? So you're going to the outside connection and then coming back in through here? I don't understand. What is this route? Oh, okay, apparently it's Oist. And the route is coming from this bus station. What is the issue? Oh no, pathfinding is failing. Wow, okay, I feel like a rookie. This is an easy fix. This entire thing needs to be flipped around. And it would probably help if this was connected in. There, does your silly bus route work now? And there we go. Now the bus route is working, that's what I'm talking about. And now what this gives us is an overly complex, elevated highway that I think is perfect for the scale of this city, or at least the scale we're going to be at very soon. Of course, there's a few places where we drop down, But that's perfectly fine because I don't want to overbuild everything. Because if you overbuild everything, then nothing is overbuilt. And I definitely wouldn't want to hurt my most prized possession, my spaghetti interchange. Even if it is technically dangerous because the water could easily flood this off-ramp. But you know what? That's fine, because we can just do a little bit of terrain work here. And yes, that is much better, much more appropriate. Now I can sleep just a little bit better at night. But of course, I'm going to be able to sleep much better once we hook this area back up to the interchange that it had before. Because we do have garbage piling up, and honestly this is just my fault. I didn't give vehicles an easy way to enter and an easy way to leave. But now that they have it, this should go away. So before, the interchange looked like this, and it's going to look almost identical. The only difference is that this main road that usually goes over is going to go under. And there we go. After doing a little bit of fill, we get the exact same interchange. Well, we do get one more benefit. We also have a free-flowing right-hand turn, which means I need to remove the markings. If you turn left here, or if you do a U-turn here, if you turn right here, then I will personally ban you. But overall, I would say it came out perfectly. The highway is definitely starting to look a lot more impressive. Definitely overbuilt, do not get me wrong, but way more impressive. And seriously, what is going on with death care? Alright, we have more land right here. And even though this is right beside a crematorium, I'm going to add in another one, I guess. And right away, I'm going to give this a bunch of hearse garages. Like surely 48 vehicles has to be enough. This district has 51,000 people, but most of the death is concentrated within the density, which obviously makes sense. It's just I'm surprised that the crematoriums we already have aren't enough to deal with it. Anyways, we need to move on to phase 2 of the highway, and this is the one that scares me the most, because this is going to require the most work. So I've always been considering it like this. The bridge transitions into the interstate, and the interstate continues and wraps around the road we just built. But could it truly be overbuilt if we didn't make this a highway as well? Now, to convert Juniper Highway into an interstate, there is one big consideration, or at least one big liberty that I'm going to take. I'm going to terminate the interstate right here. So everything after this will transition back to a normal county road, back road, whatever you want to call it. Because it's either that, or I rip out this interchange and replace it with a Y-stack one. But I really don't want to do that, because I want to maintain the access into the city. So the interstate is going to terminate right here. I'm not going to use the parallel tool this time, because instead I want to freehand this. And I'm also going to try my hardest not to bulldoze any properties. These two curves would be a bit too sharp for the interstate, so instead we'll do a nice gentle curve, and then we're going to cross the water, meet back up with the road that we're replacing. And now we have the challenge of the train tracks. This was something that I had not considered yet. Really, our only options would be to go over, to go back onto the ground, which I really want to avoid. Or actually, I don't think going on the ground's too big of a deal, because the land over here isn't land that I want to access right now. And I am going to have to pause this time, otherwise we'd lose access to our power. Now we should be able to just make a direct connection into our outside connection. And there we go. Before I fix some of this craziness, I'm going to go through and find wherever this road is and just delete the entire thing. Actually, we don't have to delete it all. Only that much. Because we're going to take the rest of it and send it into this area, because this will be part of the beach development. The rest of this is going to have to go. Now let's get this chopped off, and we'll drop down and connect into our main back road. And in fact, in order to help sell the idea that we are changing from interstate back to normal county road, I'm going to drop the lanes down to 2. And holy, that is driving me insane. I just wanted the connection to be roughly symmetrical But what can I say other than it looks awful? Wait a minute, I can make this easier for myself. I'm getting way too caught up in the wrong things. We're supposed to have overbuilt infrastructure. So here I am trying to calmly transition down into a 4-lane road. We don't need that. What we need is a 6-lane road, and then our interstate connects into it. You know what? That right there is perfect. I can live with that. This gives us Amberwood Highway. To be able to click play though, we need one more interchange. And the interchange needs to connect this district with the geothermal power plant. And I want to keep this fairly simple, so I'm going to use the single point interchange. And now we just need to connect this into our highway. And of course, it's just slightly off. That's enough to drive me insane. So I'm going to go insane and get this connected in. It's just a million times easier to custom make it. To make this more complex though, I do have a few interesting ideas to say the least. There is one small tiny challenge. This intersection is just a bit too close. The only way I can think to solve this is to delete these two sections, and I think unfortunately a few houses, and then we just need this to meet up here instead. But that looks awful. I hate everything about it. You have no redeeming qualities at all. There really needs to be more time for the curve to happen, so it looks like we're going to get rid of some more houses, and that is what you get for complaining. And that is a million times better. The curve feels a bit forced, but at least we have more room to breathe. It also allows me to do exactly what I wanted to do, be significantly more extra for next to no reason. So first, we're going to need a second lane here, because now we can take a 1 lane and wrap that all the way around. And that is perfectly extra. On this side, we will give a free-flowing movement in. And I'll make this a 5-lane asymmetric. It's honestly just silly. Now lastly, all we have to do is get this connected in, which means I'm going to build out a small little grid here because we also have 14% unemployment. And if I had to take a guess, there's probably a big concentration of unemployment here, and it's designed like that on purpose. This is the suburbs. Your densest job opportunities live within the shopping center, and those aren't even high-paying jobs at that. So I'm going to build out a small grid, and then I'll place in some industrial. Alright, now this district gives us 630 jobs. It's all connected in, it's a bit dusty, and I actually really like the way it turned out. Now that we have this connected in, we should be able to click play. And I'm not seeing anything concerning, except for a few hearse icons. Well, we're here, we might as well try and solve this. Otherwise, it's gonna start to drive me a little bit insane. So the only crematorium in this area is all the way by the trains, which means we're gonna add one on this side. And everyone loves that, okay, amazing. And we wanna make sure that we're serving these two areas. So now we have our brand new elevated highway. We have the sunken highway, which has now become completely obnoxious. We've got the new industrial district. All we're missing is a few interchanges. We're gonna need one for Glasswater Bay. And given the space constraints, I'm just gonna build a diamond interchange. And ideally that's gonna feed into this road. Then on this side, we're gonna need 2 more. We'll need one that'll feed these 2 districts, and then one that'll feed Franklin Glen and this future waterfront. So all of those interchanges are gonna look just like this one, and I'm gonna get that done really quickly. And unless I see a traffic problem, this is where I'm going to leave the majority of the interchanges off. And come on, Deathcare. Deathcare is the new villain. Earl Noble? More like Barnes Noble, am I right? Yeah, okay. There is one important interchange that I didn't do. and that's for the airport. I honestly just can't imagine a world where we don't directly serve the airport, because yeah, traffic is starting to jam up, and that is not ideal. It's jamming up though because we're forcing everyone to take this interchange, and we do have all of this room right here. These interchanges are already pretty close together. Adding in one more right here is definitely going to make that worse. But I think it's going to be fine as long as we only serve the airport. And basically what I want to do is a trumpet. Before I work on that, I want to figure out where the cars are going to flow from. Based on the current setup, what I want to do is parallel these 2-lane roads into this intersection. Something just like that right there. Because these roads are one-ways, I want to make this a free-flowing movement instead. And we definitely don't need lights here. And the game really doesn't want to let me get rid of this crosswalk. We'll make this a 4-lane one-way, and it still doesn't want to let me remove the crosswalk. Okay, you know what? Death care is no longer the enemy. This crosswalk is. Okay, you know what? It's fine. I'm not even going to worry about it. And that's because I can be a normal functioning human being. And I'll just implement my solution and hope for the best. That's going to be one of these pedestrian crosswalks. Now, to be honest, there really shouldn't be a reason to cross the street here, but I know the Sims are going to do it anyways, so I figure at least this way, they have a safe option. And I added a second one just because I think the dual stairs looks a little bit nicer. They need to be able to cross this road as well, and I definitely think we can make this way more complex than it needs to be. So I want to try and connect to this building. And now I just need to know if this works, and it does, no way. That is janky execution, but I can't believe it works. Wait, where are you going? Oh yeah, there's nowhere to go. Right, let me fix that. Now show me that this does actually work. I know there's a bit of jank, but look, it's got character. Please, someone go up here. I know one of you wants to cross the street. Oh no, that's cool, that's cool. Just cross the most dangerous intersection ever. Oh, you better run. You better run. Oh wait, here we go. Rusty Pearson. You're going shopping? You're poor and you're a student. Okay. Jackie Kendall. Going to school. Where are you going to school? Wokingham. Why not just go to one of our very fine, prestigious schools? Whatever, you guys bug me. And it does exactly what I want it to do. But I still think we can do better. And also, how do you enter the parking garages? What? Why didn't I make an entrance? There. Now there's an entrance and an exit. And I know I'm getting like way off track here, and we will get back to fixing the interchange in 1 second. I just realized I never gave people a way to cross via pedestrian overcross. Right now they'd have to cross the fairly dangerous street. And just like last time, we can easily overbuild this for absolutely no reason. Well, there is a reason. We're going to make it more safe. This is going to be perfect. And what do you mean, no power? You're right over top of a road. How could you not have power? You're kidding me. Why does a pedestrian overpass need power? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so the save game bug is back. So now I'm just gonna stop and walk away and hope that the bug doesn't keep destroying my game. We do have a police problem over here, and I wanna quickly solve this before it drives me insane. So let's have one on-site facility, and we'll place it right there. And now we should be good. Now let's get back to the main purpose of why we were over here in the first place. And the pedestrian overpasses were kind of important, because prior to the highway connection, you could just continue walking all the way across. But now you're not going to be able to. So let's just send these all the way down. And now I'm going to quickly make a trumpet right here. The trumpet is done. It looks beautiful. Everything seems to be flowing pretty good. I did notice we have some traffic up here, which is a perfect opportunity to overwork this. Really though, I think the biggest problem is that this intersection is way too close. So let's add a node here and here, chop the road off, and add a cul-de-sac. And also straighten out this road because it looks hideous. And some proper lane mathematics definitely wouldn't hurt. And that should definitely help. Well, we'll see. I'm gonna give it a bit more time to simulate, and then I just wanna do one last check over. And so here's our new highway network. Significantly more impressive, significantly more extra, and it's nice to see that things are working again. Now let's take a break from all of the roads, all of the highways, and anything to do with traffic. So next up, I wanna get to work on improving the trains. But I mean, just take a look at what is going on down here. It's an absolute nightmare. Wait, what is this? We're in a complete gridlock. Why are we in a complete gridlock? Someone has to go. Oh, it goes even further. Just get on the tram. Just get on the tram. Just do it. Walk on right now. Okay. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. No wonder why we have waiting for hearses and garbage piling up. This entire intersection is just blocked for reasons that I don't entirely understand yet. Look how long the line goes. I'm going to delete this because it's not in use, and maybe that'll help a little bit. And it does. Apparently everyone can start moving again. That doesn't even make sense though. It wasn't being used. And just look at this, it's crazy. What is this? This is what I get for underbuilding infrastructure in the past. I should have just went all in. And things seem to be getting a little bit better. In fact, most of the hearse icons have went away. So let's leave that be for now, and the first thing that I want to work on is the new train depot. The new train depot is going to live right here. It just seems like the perfect place. It's right beside some farms, and the land is kind of dead anyways. And also, it's all flat, which is a big win. Each of the compact rail yards comes with 7 vehicles. So if we add 1, 2, and I want these to all be straight. So I'm going to temporarily break this road. There's 3, can we fit 1 more? No, I guess that's pushing it. It looks like we might be able to fit the add-on though. Yeah, you know what? That's not too bad. We just gotta make this a key wall, and I would say that is looking much more impressive. And this altogether gives us 25 trains. Let's get this road connected back up. And now I wanna send all of these connections down, and then make them just a little bit more interconnected. And I think I'm going about this the wrong way. First, I should get all the tracks in. I think that should be good. This is just basically where the trains would sit and collect rust. I know next to nothing about trains. What I do know though, is that we have to branch these connections into our tracks. I'm gonna try and make this as gentle as possible and keep a decent amount of distance from this track switch. Alright, are you ready for my masterpiece? I used every single last brain cell that I had to create this. And I think for the most part, it makes sense. It also facilitates the turnaround movement within the yard. But I know next to nothing about trains. So for the most part, I was just making this up as I go. To make this look a little bit better, I do want to take some of these decals and really just start placing them in. And here is the new train depot. That was definitely one of the most stressful processes I've done in a long time. Now the reason why we need the new train depot is because we're going to add 2 new train stations. And let's start down here. This wouldn't really be the greatest area to serve. There just really isn't all that many people. But I'm going to say the city is helping to subsidize some of the costs. Otherwise, we're never going to have a train station. And I really like the France train station because it's super simple. Let's place it fronting this main road. So just like that right there. And unfortunately, it is across the street from Walmart, but it is what it is. My trains are already being super wonky. In fact, you can see it down there. No idea what it's doing, no idea how to fix it. So because of that, I'm not going to add the train station onto the track. Instead, I'm going to make sure that the trains can bypass it entirely. This does have the upgrade for the waiting rooms. I'm just going to add it on because why not? And now we currently have 2 lines. I don't think connecting this one into the airport line is going to make sense. The trip is just really short. Plus, I have another solution for that anyways. So we're only going to connect the OIST line in. But I really don't like what's happening here. Oh yeah, that's completely reasonable. 100%. Yeah, that's great. Thanks, game. Oh yeah, that's a very interesting connection. And, of course, clicking that gets rid of all of the jank that's happening. And re-adding it back in seems to have fixed things. And the more and more I think about a second train station, or even this train station in general, the more uncertain I become. I think this train station was bad placement, because the idea is to eventually bring subways through here, and I really don't want the subways and the trains doing the exact same movement. But that's kind of what we have right now. Even the train trip to the airport, I think would be more appropriate for either light rail or for the subway. But I'd honestly love to know what you think. Should I rip out this train station, connect everything in the middle, and then I could add one more train station in Name 6, and one more train station towards the water? Because very soon, I do need to unify all of this. There's a very separated feeling between these 2 districts, and it's bugging me. But I'm just unsure of what to do with the train station. And in order for subways to make sense, we definitely need to be a little bit more dense. All that to say, I'm done with my old man rant. Let me know what you think. There's only one more thing that I want to do. We're going to take this tram stop, and we're going to add one right to this clinic. And now we'll have one more down by the high school. I want to take the light rail line and have it make 2 stops after the airport. And apparently, it can turn around on these roads. Well, too bad. I already made the tram loop here, and you're going to use it. We added a bunch of development last time, so we can definitely add a few more stops, like one to serve this community here. This is primarily a light rail line, so I don't want to make too many stops, but I definitely think we should have one more, right near all of this upzone density, which makes this line a total of 30 kilometers. And Providence Bay is going to be ending soon, so we're going to be making dramatic changes really quickly. Also, the population is at 243,000, and of course we have so much money it doesn't even make sense. We make 1.3 million per hour. What am I supposed to do with this? But I hope you enjoyed all the unnecessary infrastructure. We didn't have any traffic problems at all. And as always, thank you for looning with me today. Today's shoutouts go to Gary Key, Jake Hill, Mississippi Mikey, Aiden Fernelski, Henry Vopel, Dylan Barnett, Arlen J, Sinan Ozdemir, Soyan x2, the Poop Sheriff, and to everyone else who supports the channel. Seriously, you guys are insane. If you want to loon harder, you can join us on Patreon or YouTube. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one.